Good evening.
Oh, hi, Darius. I was just wondering if it was happening, but it's great to see you.
I'm sorry about that. I was just slightly delayed in traffic.
Okay. Forgive you this time, but, just don't let it happen in future. Isagenix, we've got to be... I'm just...
Well, I was on a call with corporate earlier, a leaders call, and they were saying, please do make sure that you attend on time because we'll not be stopping the show for you. And as important and valuable as you all are, the show must go on, and please be sure that you're there punctually and all that kind of thing. So, evidently still not learnt my lesson.
Better late than never.
Well, indeed. I think I've been making a running joke recently that people are accustomed to me turning up a few minutes late and don't bother coming for a few more minutes after that. So, I'm surprised that we're currently looking as we are. But let me just click some buttons and get everything ship-shape and ready.
Yeah, I thought, talking to myself for a change, and I could see myself. It's like looking in a mirror.
You were first on, were you?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Never mind, it's fine. We're all keen on Isagenix.
Well, indeed. Plenty to do, isn't there?
You look like you've caught the sun, Darius.
Oh, I might have done. If in the 3 minutes I've had outside. I think it's more that I've been running around, Joe, running up and down the stairs, getting things done. Very kind of you to say, nonetheless.
Whereabouts do you live, Darius?
Well, I'm originally from Lancashire, but I currently live in, between West Yorkshire and London.
All right. Whereabouts in Lancashire? Because my son went to Lancaster University. We love it up there.
Oh, yeah. It's a lovely campus, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I studied in Edinburgh, and I also studied at the University of Central Lancashire in Preston as well.
Oh, right, I know, yeah. He was actually in the one in Lancaster itself. It's nice, actually, nice campus.
Yes, indeed. So, thank you so much for joining us, Jenny. No response. And for you, also, Caroline, of course, Joe, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming along. No? Okay. Just me and you, Christina.
No, so I'll probably only
good.
be on for about 5-10 minutes, though, because I have to go and sort something out.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Hi, Jenny. You caught up with us then. Hi, how are you doing today?
I think Jane's coming on because she said, hang on a minute before when I wrote her a message. So.
Oh, right. Okay. I was just looking through the group. I'm not entirely sure that I shared the link, but I feel certain I must have done. I mean,
you put it on movers and shakers. That's how I knew.
Oh, okay. Well, in there. Definitely in the other group. Did you get it from the Platinum Exec Group?
Gave me the link. Oh, Rosalie gave me the link.
You did share the links, Darius?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, there's a few more coming along now, so that's very lovely to see. You got the link from Rosalie, did you, Jenny?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I think I'm waiting for a reaction, but it's not coming. But I think that's because your internet might be a little slow, Jenny. Is that normally the case?
No, it's you. Well, I should not used to this.
Oh, right. Hi, Gary. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Give us a thumbs up if you would, so we can make sure you can hear us. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll just give it another couple of minutes before we get started. Some people adding some things in the chat. All right. Okay. Looks like you're a popular guy, Gary. So, have we been out and enjoying the sunshine this evening? Or this afternoon, should I say?
Bit too hot to go outside down here. I tell you, it was too hot.
Right, yeah. Well, we had a call earlier this morning, and a lady was kind enough to join us from Spain. And I was saying about how it was set to be a very lovely day. She said, well, try 38 degrees on, because that's what it was yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's too much.
I know. That's what I thought. God, because I lived out in Spain last summer for a few months. And the heat was, I was right on the coast. Had all the sort of the benefits, the aircon, all the rest of it, and still was a pinch too warm for my liking. I certainly only went out once the sun had gone down for the most part.
Our son said it was 33 in London, and apparently the boss went and got everybody ice creams at lunchtime because an ice cream van came around the area.
Right, that's nice, isn't it? Very good. Okay, well, I think we've given it long enough now, so we'll get underway. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I'm just going to press some buttons as I do. Please forgive me as I'm about to mute you all. It's just to avoid any feedback coming through whilst I'm just giving this little presentation. I won't keep you long, 15 or 20 minutes. Just to provide you with a small overview, not only of the wonderful products we have, but also of the income generation opportunity that goes along with that, which is very lovely indeed for all of us concerned. And then towards the end, I will unmute everybody to allow you to ask any questions, to get any queries cleaned up, anything that perhaps I haven't covered that you wanted to get an answer to, then please do. You can pop it into the chat group as things are coming to mind, as I'm mentioning different things, then feel free to put something in the chat group as we go along, or should you wish, you can always raise your hand or just speak out at the end once everyone's unmuted again, and then we can get that cleared up for you. So I guess the first and foremost thing to mention before we go any further at all, even who I am, is that we very excitingly launched a new group, which was to provide people with further information, should I say, about the wonderful product and opportunity that we have to offer. So if you haven't been added into that just yet, then by all means, then request that you are added into that to get more information about the product, the company, the founders, about the ethics of the company, the standards that they uphold, not only in terms of the product, but also in terms of the people, the associates, the network, the doers, whatever phrase you may wish to coin for that particular set of people, as lovely as we all are. And that is called the Platinum Exec Group Sneak Peek. So that's a very cheeky name for a very cheeky little group with lots of lovely information in it. So for those of you that haven't had the pleasure or the opportunity to speak or meet with me before, then my name is Darius Ward. I've been involved in the network marketing industry for around the last 5 years now. So certainly not as many years as some perhaps, but certainly more than others at the same time as well. So in that time, then I've been very fortunate to be trained and mentored, guided and coached by a number of very wonderful 6- and 7-figure earners right here within the network marketing industry, also right here within the UK. Not only in the traditional art or skill sets of network marketing, but also in the more modern digital tool sets as well. So quite a handy combination, not only to have that tried and tested knowledge, information, tools, techniques, but also some of the more cutting edge and forward thinking, if you will, approaches to the modern arts of network marketing. Using those, then I've gone on to have a great level of success, earning 6 figures for the last several years now. And developing a downline of more than, that's downline for anyone that doesn't know, is the organization of people that you introduce and they go on to introduce and they go on to introduce and so on and so forth, of more than 28,000 people across 8 different countries. So just mentioning before, I spent a short time in Spain, around 6 months, and that was actually to launch my, what was then UK-based company into the Spanish market, which was very, very nice and jolly. So whilst we may all start off working for our own front room or study or wherever it may be, the opportunities really can be limitless, and it's a really exciting time and place to be. So back to Isagenix, let's keep it firmly on target, shall we? Isagenix is a 15-year-old company that has gone on to build sales globally in the last 15 years, in the last 12 months in fact, to $924 million. It's a formidable company that is experiencing rapid progression and growth, the latest accolade of which, the latest string in the bow or feather in the cap, is right here in the United Kingdom, having launched, as we did, just on the 15th of May, so just barely a month old in terms of the United Kingdom. However, we bring with it that great strength and knowledge, expertise and experience of the 15-year-old legacy company, which is really exciting. So I was fortunate enough to fly out to Phoenix, Arizona several months ago when the whispers were heard through the network marketing industry that Isagenix would be coming to the UK in several months' time. And I have to admit that when I got on that plane over to Phoenix, Arizona, I was an avid skeptic. But they do say, of course, don't they, that the skeptics are the ones that make the greatest converts, and I'm no exception to that rule at all. But nonetheless, getting onto that aeroplane over to Phoenix, Arizona, I was very skeptical. Whenever I'd been on a health transformation, a health kick, a diet plan, anything to do with health or energy or weight, it had always been in a holistic, in a natural, food-based manner. So I had experienced juicing, I'd experienced high-protein diets, low-carb, Atkins, watermelon, you name it, you can pretty much bet that I've got not only the experience, but also the book that goes along with it, as well as the T-shirt. So nonetheless, I'd had success. Now, the one thing that always frustrated me, and perhaps you can empathise or just at least sympathise here, is that whilst I achieved fantastic results with all those things, what I'd failed to do was make it stick. So what I was seeking very much was a lasting and sustainable change to my health. And I mean a very long-lasting and sustainable change to my health. And so I went over to Phoenix, Arizona, just to say that one more time, and attended the head office there. It's a 4-story glass and steel, almost cathedral-like building to the world and products of Isagenix, which houses more than 800 staff. But what I was really surprised to hear and see was that more than 40 of those are full-time lab technicians, scientific developers, etc., all working not only on refining even further the existing product, but maintaining existing standards, as well as developing new products for us to try, love and share ourselves all the time. So that was really the first sort of thing of note, that such a large number of staff were dedicated to that one discipline. But very encouraging to see. So then the second thing I wanted to check out, and was treated to quite liberally at the lunch break, was to try the products. So as many of us now have had the opportunity to do so since the launch here in the UK, I was fortunate enough to try them several months ago. The first thing I actually had was one of the Isagenix shakes containing 24 grams of protein, equally matched with that all-important carbohydrate to ensure absorption into the body, as well as more than 300 elements and minerals which are vital for the healthy function of the human body. This was all news to me at the time, but I've learned it since. So it was very great and informative and very reassuring to find out that every single element that the human body requires is contained in that one packet of meal replacement shake. Very encouraging indeed. And then the second product I was lucky enough to try, which is a product that's going to be launched very shortly here in the UK, was the Isagenix bar. And the bar is a whole meal replacement. Now, when I looked at it, it is quite a generous portion, I have to say, roughly about these, please don't hold me to these figures, but roughly about that sort of size. But having seen comparable, aesthetically at least, products on the market, whether it be cereal bars, supposed health bars, fruits, vegan, all those kind of things, then and having eaten those and just the only thing it made me do was want to eat 2 or 3 more, because they tasted delicious but didn't fill me up. Then I was really delighted to see that after eating just about 3/4 of that bar, I was actually full. Now, I don't mean I was full like I'd had a roast dinner and a 3-course meal and really enjoyed that extra large banana split at the end of it. But what I do mean is I was no longer hungry. I was satisfied. And actually didn't want, and what I did was fold up the packet and save the rest for later rather than waste it, because it was so tasty, but nonetheless so filling. And I found out then, I made a really important discovery for myself, so this is all relatively new, but it's a lesson that I've learned very fast and hard, is that actually the body doesn't seek food. It doesn't seek food at all. What it seeks is the nutrition that's found in food. And so having done my own independent research then around the subject, both in terms of my healthy choices in past lives or past experiences and right here with Isagenix too, then it's a real intriguing thing to see and to realise that it's the nutrition that the body seeks. And as soon as the body is given all of the nutrition it needs, it no longer is hungry. And what I mean by that is the receptors are not being sent up to the brain. The brain knows that it's receiving everything it needs. It can then send off all those different vitamins, minerals, and other elements along on the different journeys to the different organs to perform the different functions of the body without going into any great detail. And everything feels satisfied. More than that, that when you continue to feed the body the nutrition that it craves, that it wants, that it needs, then it becomes a higher performing, greater functioning organism, the human body as a whole. That's from the brain right down to the tips of your toes. So with correct nutrition, amazing differences can be made. Now, we're not here to prescribe any certain illnesses or to prescribe any treatment, should I say, for any particular illnesses or anything like that. But nonetheless, it makes sense that if you're putting the good stuff in, you're going to have a good body, right? And we all know that, I'm sure maybe we've been on holiday and it's been egg and chips for breakfast. It's been, I don't know, paella for, I'm obviously reciting from my recent Spanish experience, paella for lunch, and maybe some lovely tapas for evening. And whilst that's delicious, it doesn't contain those nutrients. And so again, what I've got on to learn is that actually, as if one, for example, and this applies right across the board, but one example, if we were to go and purchase a bowl or a bag of spinach, of loose leaf spinach from the supermarket, and compare the nutrient vitamin quantities that are contained within that now in comparison to exactly the same product on the same supermarket shelf but 30 years ago, then actually you would need 10 bags of spinach to achieve the same level of vitamins and minerals. Now, if you imagine that's across every single thing that we're eating, all the fruit, the vegetables, nuts, legumes, as well as the all-important meats, of course, the tasty bits. And so that was quite a shocking fact to find out. But once again, became very reassured, having revisited back to that all-important product label that we all become expert examiners of, don't we, when we first get started, to find that all the vitamins, all the minerals, like I say, all the 300 trace elements that are required, including carbohydrates, fats, sugars, all the essential things of life, salts and that kind of thing, are all present in the correct quantity and all from a natural source. And the way that Isagenix managed to do that is that they source their products from a farmer or a farm or a location, whatever it might be, that grows the vegetables correctly, because it's not that the vegetables are nutritionally bankrupt in their own right, only that they're actually plucked or harvested too soon, because all the vitamins and minerals obviously come from the soil in which they're grown, but they only do that in the very last or latter stages of the growth and ripening process. And because they're taken from the field, the tree, the bush, the earth, whatever it might be, at that earlier point, which gives them then a longer shelf life, what it does sadly do is dramatically reduce the amount of vitamins, minerals, or whatever it is that it's supposed to contain. But not so with the naturally occurring ingredients, products, raw vegetables, fruits, etc., that are contained. And then one final thing, without going too much into the science and the excitement, there is more information in that Sneaky Pete group should you wish to take a look, is of course the all-important protein. So what I've discovered and learned for myself and experienced myself, having consumed the products for the last month or so, and I've been fortunate enough to have 2 or 3 weeks worth of products going back a few months as well, is that protein is so vital, because what it enables you to do, what it does is it enables the body to process that protein. It's undenatured, which means it's not fettered with, it's not messed around, it's still available to be used by the body. And it goes into the body and then it feeds the muscle. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to grow, what's he called? The spinach guy, what was he called? Popeye-like muscles overnight, not at all. All it means is that it's going to solidify the mass. So whatever size and shape of muscle you have at the moment, that will become more firm. But what that also does is, because the body is being fed the energy to feed the muscles, it doesn't need to then reduce that muscle mass to create glycogen or glucose within the body to feed itself for energy purposes, allowing, therefore, the visceral fat cells to be released from the body, otherwise known as losing weight, which is a really amazing thing. And that's just one way to use the products. So what I mean by that is, because the body is being fed the nutrients, the organs begin to perform more effectively over a period of time, which then with the feeding of the protein matched with the equal amount of carbohydrate, a very important factor not found in many other products out there, then that enables not only for the release of those visceral fat cells, which contain toxins and poisons from the environment and our everyday diet. It's a perfectly natural thing. And that is then swept away by the higher performing organs within the body. So it's very, very clever. It's a very, very clever thing. And I always say that really what Isagenix has done, that's the really magical thing, that no other company or product that I'm aware does this, is that it uses nature to its very best advantage, but is delivered in a scientific way. So it very simply is correct, full and proper nutrition that the body thrives off, but in convenient packet or bottle form. It's absolutely genius. And the guy that's developed these products is a guy called John Anderson. Every company has a man in a white coat. And John Anderson and ours were no exception, along with the 40 other wonderful full-time staff at head office. And he is a master developer. And the reason he's earned that title over a 30-year career is because he has developed more than 2,300 products. So the chances are, if you've had a health or weight or a dietary product out there, the chances are that he was the guy that developed them. But he got very sort of, what's the word? I'm thinking fed up, but that's not probably the correct word, is it? He got very perturbed by the fact that he developed these perfect, scientifically based products, scientifically developed products based on nature and all the life-giving properties that nature has to offer, and then were cheapened with added fillers, with artificial versions of the naturally occurring vitamins, minerals, and other ingredients, for the profit, for the increase of the profit, for the benefit of the bottom line, not for the end user. So when he developed these products in his own name, in his own image, putting his name squarely to them, which he hadn't with any of the others, they were sold under various other brand names because they were purchased by other companies, then he obviously wanted to make sure it was the premium version of the product that he offered, but certainly not at a premium price. So at less than £2.57 for a meal, it is excellent, excellent value. Now, we're not comparing that to egg and chips. Can you tell egg and chips is one of my favourite meals? We're not even comparing it to chicken wings, which is my number one favourite meal. Now, both of which are very tasty and delicious, don't get me wrong, but they're not going to do you any good. And also are available very cheaply and readily because of the nutrition and the growing processes involved. It's intense manufacturing and therefore are cheaply and readily available. What we are therefore comparing it to is, as I've already said, superfood complete nutrition. Now, I don't want to make any estimates or any guesses or make any false claims. I don't want to lead you up any paths whatsoever. So I'm not going to put a value to it, but I certainly have worked it out for myself. And let me assure you that in comparison to buying the equivalent value of those vitamins, minerals, and I don't mean in pill or packet form, I mean right there in the cabbage, in the curly kale, in the cucumbers, in the tomatoes, in the carrots, all those lovely things. If you were to buy that, it would cost exceptionally, one heck of a lot more, to say the very least. Now, you do your own research, you weigh it up for yourself by all means, but let me assure you, if you will just take one thing away, these products are excellent value for money for what they offer. And the difference that it can make is absolutely astounding. Now, I've covered weight loss because that's my personal journey. I've actually dropped or released, to use the technical term, more than 15 pounds now. Over a comparatively short amount of time. And not only that, the benefit that I've realised is, yes, the weight loss, my clothes are fitting better, I'm down a notch on the belt, I'm searching around for old pairs of jeans that I've not worn for a few years. I'm going to a big rah-rah meeting down in London, which is very exciting very shortly. I'm going to see if I can fit into one of my old suits and all that kind of thing, which is all very lovely, but nonetheless is actually an aesthetic issue. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to belittle that or say it's important. It's very important to me, as it should be to anyone else that cares to look in the mirror each day. However, it's so much more than that, because I now sleep less. So I have gone from sleeping 10 hours a day to less than 7 or certainly 8. Not only that, I sleep right through like a baby, as the saying goes. I awake, I am rested, I am vibrant, I'm alive, I'm off, I'm going. I'm running out of bed at 100 miles an hour and running back into bed at 100 miles an hour. Very, very much like, what's it called, Road Runner. And really loving life. I have so much energy. My skin has cleared. I actually suffer, or have in the past suffered, with problems with contact dermatitis and with eczema, which is currently subsiding significantly. Not only that, my mental clarity has improved exponentially. I've gone from every thought being a process, having to write everything down because I knew I'd forget it, forgetting conversations that I was having, hours or two before, certainly forgetting memories from yesteryear, to now really thinking as well as moving at 100 miles an hour. And not only that, just generally feel alive and great. And that's by combining these so very clever, yet so very simple products to such synergistic, or to put it another way, great effect. So I hope that provides you with a little bit of an overview on the products. There's certainly more detail available to you. Should you wish to get back to the person that introduced you to this call this evening, then they will certainly gladly answer any questions you have. Should you wish to have a further conversation with me and the person that introduced you to this call, you're very welcome to do that also. We're all available via Facebook, or to drop us a message. Get added into that prostate brew, ask any questions that you might like there, take a look at more information. So just moving on then quickly in the last 5-10 minutes or so, is that along with this wonderful product is a wonderful income generation opportunity, and it truly is. And the thing is that everyone, of course, thinks their business is the best, whether you're a local cafe owner, you have an ice cream van and you're feeding the whole office block in London, or whether you're whatever business, you might have construction, whatever business it is, of course you think yours is best, you pour your heart and your soul into it. But let's just give you some cold, hard facts, and then you can make your mind up whether you think it's the best for you. So first and foremost is that it's a tried and tested company. Like I said, it's going on for 15 years. It's multi-award winning. It's in the top 20 fastest growing direct sales companies in the world. It's one of only 5 to ever achieve more than $500 million worth of sales in any one financial year. A truly staggering achievement in the direct sales industry, and has just been awarded the DSA, which is the Direct Selling Association, which is like the ombudsman or the watchdog that takes care of our industry and does such a wonderful job. They've actually awarded us one of the companies of the year in the United States. All the products are sustainably sourced, as well as quality controlled. So they're controlled in terms of the soil in which they're grown is tested, the raw ingredient is tested at harvesting, it's tested when it comes into the factory, or into the laboratory, should I say. It's tested once it's whilst it's being manufactured and processed into the quality fine powder that we consume daily, as well as the other elements as too, the tonics, etc. And then it's tested before it leaves the door as well. It's an exceptional process that they go through to ensure that every single product is exactly as described on the tin, which again is not something that you can be guaranteed of elsewhere. So along with that then we have 2 options. So you may wish to join as a customer to try to love and to share the products with other people perhaps. And should you wish to do that, that's absolutely fine. And the company will reward you for that, for spreading the word of Isagenix, for helping your friends and family feel just every bit as great as you do, and for them to receive the rewards of consuming those products on a daily basis for any period of time. If you were to help them get started, then you would receive a product credit on account. So the old saying goes, of course, that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Well, here with Isagenix, let me assure you, there is. Because by introducing several people, helping them get started on a same or similar pack that you may have chose to get started, more details on the packs are available from the person that introduced you to this call, then the company will reward you with that product credit, which you can add up over time, and then literally order your food from Isagenix for free. Absolutely incredible. Not only that, you'll receive a year-round 25% discount right from the very first order. So it's like a discount buyers club for you to enjoy and share with your friends and family too, should you wish. And in addition to that, then there are by becoming a preferred customer, by joining, by receiving the discount, by introducing other people, should you wish, it's an extra, but should you choose to do those items, then you will also receive all the training, support and guidance you would ever need, not only in terms of initial setup in how to use the different products, where and when to take them, meal suggestions, and they are just that. You can obviously, you're free to choose and do whatever you wish. However, the suggestions are there to help keep you along your way on your particular health transformation. So sorry, I've just remembered that I've only mentioned weight loss. In addition to weight loss, we also have weight maintenance packages, we have weight gain packages, we have sports and endurance packages too, and in addition to that, we also have healthy aging packages, all using that clever, simple nutrition that's very cleverly scientifically developed. In essence, it's the same core product range with additional features which can enhance your workout, can help you gain weight if that's something that you struggle with, or stay exactly where you are. And then also with age can come fragility. It can come with a lack of muscle mass, with a lack of solidity to the bone structure. Well, correct nutrition can aid in all of those processes. So it really is a set of products that's available to everyone and beneficial to everyone, albeit in different ways. Very interesting indeed. More information on that, again, from the person that introduced you this evening. So it may be then that we've got the customer, we've got the preferred customer, we've discussed those, and then also, finally, but certainly not least, is the associate route. So you may wish to get started to actively build a business, and whether that's to earn an extra £200 or £300 or £400 a month, or whether it's to earn an extra £2,000 or £3,000 or £4,000 a month, it's all readily achievable. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme by any stretch whatsoever. It's not about talking to two people and making £1 million. Now, if you find anything like that, please, will you let me be the first person to know, because I'll be with you. Let me absolutely guarantee you. But until that time, then let's get back to reality. Let's get back to the serious business that Isagenix can be, should you wish it to be. And the earning potential is very great and significant indeed. And I say that not only because of the pay plan. Now, I'm not going to go through any specifics of the pay plan. Again, the person who introduced you this evening can take you through that. And also there's more information, again, on the Sneaky Pete group, should you wish to take a look at that. However, it's a very rich, very rewarding pay plan, and with not only the core components, but bonus structures, extra rewards when you go that extra mile. It's very much related to the performance, to the input that you put in. So really, in very simple terms, if you put part-time effort into it, you're going to derive a part-time income over time. If you commit full-time attitude, not necessarily hours, but attitude to the business, really reaching out to new people, expanding your horizons and making new contacts as you go along, supporting those people as you come in, but of course we're here to help and support you with that too, then very readily and achievable, again, over a period of time, then you can achieve a full-time plus income from that. So to give you an example of a typical result, and also something towards the extreme, is that the average income from an Isagenix business that's run on a part-time basis is around the $700, or call that around approximately £600 mark. However, there are more than 220 people within Isagenix currently that have amassed more than £1 million of income. So not for everyone, but it's there, and there are more than 220 people that can show you exactly how to do it. And that's one of the unique facets that you'll find about network marketing, and certainly within the Isagenix opportunity, is that the support, the guidance, the leadership, both corporately from the events as well as from field events, from the leaders within the field, it's absolutely unparalleled. And certainly, even within that, then within the Platinum Exec Group, even more so. We must have, without even exaggerating, hundreds of years of experience as a collective leadership team already. We have the most executives, which is the top of the pay plan, serious six-figure earners, or at the very least, on the way to that figure, who are there, who provide training at least once a week, as well as in physical events right across the country on a quarterly basis, perhaps even a little more often than that. And then there's the corporate events too. So it really is about the right product, the right company, the right leadership, the right opportunity. Really, the only question then is it right for you? Well, that remains to be said. So it's been a real pleasure sharing this information with you tonight. It's been quite fast and furious. I'm going to call it to a halt after we've had the Q&A, because I'm fast fading into the dark, and I fear that you're not going to be able to see me. I do have lights within my house, let me just assure you of that, but I don't want to leave you for even one moment. So as long as you can still hear my voice, that's absolutely fine. And should it be necessary and should we progress any further, then by all means, I'll go and switch on that all-important light bulb. But until that point, I'd like to invite you now by clicking some buttons, as I do. I'm going to unmute everyone now, so just be wary of the dog barking and the kids running around, that kind of thing, if you can. but I'm going to unmute you now.
Gary left.
And did everyone have any questions for me? Did anyone want to type anything in the chat group, or you could just speak out? Christina, I see that you've got your hand up. What do you want to say?
Yeah, thanks. On the preferred customers, I've sort of been through most of the comp plan, and I think I've worked most of it out. But somebody was actually asking me if they came in as a PC and then wanted to become an associate, and they bought some products, say, I don't know, 50 BVs worth or something like that. Would that count to their 100 BVs when they become an associate, or would they still have to put that 100 BV first order?
Yeah, so if they cumulatively then accrue 100 BV, at that point their account would be classified as active.
Right.
And at that point they would start to accrue volume and experience all the other benefits of either preferred custodom or associate-dom.
No, that's great, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure and delight.
I have another one. Sorry, I don't want to be the... One more, quick.
Yeah.
On the drinks, I presume, I mean, the shakes come in packets because I haven't got my order yet. But on the Nourish and Supreme, do you measure them in the cup or cap, the cup on the top? No. Or how do you have a measure, or is it, because I know it says certain mil, to have? Yeah, so it's good to have a measuring cup or a shaker. Can you see this one here, for example? One of these comes in your premium pack, should you wish to order that. Or they are available to purchase also, in various different brands, from sports shops, health shops, even supermarkets now. And then they very handily have the measuring down the side. So it does say to add, I don't even know, it's been that long since I first tried it, but it's roughly about 268 mil or something like that, I don't know.
240 mils of water with a shake, and with the bottles, it tells you on the back you can get tablespoons, so it gives you a rough idea of how many tablespoons you can have if you don't have a jug handy.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
So that's the official answer. That's good to know, 240 mil. But I have to confess that I actually mix mine with between 300 and 400 mil for no other reason than it's a personal preference. Some people like it. Obviously, it's a powder mixed with water. So the less water that's used, the thicker a consistency. Some people like and enjoy that. They find that satisfying. I personally like to enjoy and savour and sip more so. And so we'll fill up to roughly around this sort of mark. And then it is quite a large helping of the powder. It's 60 grams. And so that just works for me. So there's a little bit of trial and error, but no necessity. You can't over weaken it, perhaps don't go any less than the prescribed or suggested amount. And then with the fluids, and again with the great tip there, as said, that you can measure that out in tablespoons should you not have a measure to hand.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so we'll pull it to a close then. Thank you so much for spending the time and joining in with us this evening. It's been a real pleasure and delight. I hope you found it interesting. I certainly know that I have. It's always a real pleasure to see everyone's smiling faces and to share the good word of Isagenix, both in terms of the wonderful products and the difference they're making to me and so many other people out there. I can only suggest that you give them a try, that you feel the benefit, and should you wish also to earn an additional income stream, then to give that a serious look over and get started should you wish. And on that note, I'm going to bid you all a fond farewell. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks a lot.